Well, I am not going to lie. This one has me very torn. And we're going to get a little personal. And I usually try not to invoke my biography because I think that's none of your business. But certain things have to get a little personal, but I will try to minimize it to make analytic points. But this one is there. I don't see how I can make it pure analysis because it. Listen, I'm not crying, but I am sad. So what happened? Well, I was looking at Jenna cooking. She also did a video, her next to the ocean or the waves, whatever. It was like a lifestyle video. And I should be celebrating because her content of late has been fairly disappointing and her community posts have been abysmal. And I feel torn because I will make a very, I think, powerful confession, which I think may shock people. But in my own mind and memory, it is true. That is actually a big thing that happened to me. And I think this has actually lessons far beyond Jenna and me and even, quote, Aaron and this weird triangle. So, if you tried to enter the anti Scientology scene of late, I've heard a lot of complaints that, and I guess I'm part of this, that a lot of people are turned off by the negativity. But I may be of the weird opinion, I don't think there's enough negativity. I think the problem is the negativity is misaimed. So let me make a minor point, but this will become more important at the end, that I read something about Laura Prepon and her continued success in Hollywood. And yes, I'm drawing a parallel because it's very similar that Laura has a lifestyle channel and doing the same thing. Laura cooking in the kitchen. Nora's probably cooking in the kitchen, but we know why she eats a lot. Um, Sorry, minor dig. I can't help myself. Jenna cooking in the kitchen. Oh boy, Mama Bear 1 cooking, Mama Bear 2 cooking. But let's get right to it. So, the anti Scientology scene of late seems to have declined markedly. Again, like it or not, a lot of the blame can be attributed to Aaron. But it's not just Aaron, he has a lot of critical allies. And going through all the complexities would take us a long time, so I'll have to keep it brief to get back to Jenna. But essentially, Aaron, for a long, long time, has been ensnared in lots of weird controversies and scandals, from sex to drugs to gaslighting to abusing people to even, yes, physically assaulting a woman while in Scientology. Although, to be fair, he failed because he was constrained. Seems like a nightmare scenario. And on top of all this, he's been unfaithful in a very radical, disrespectful way to his wife. Technically, he's not even divorced. And out of this, Jenna, for whatever reason, is in a relationship with Aaron. I think it's more sad and weird because I think it is not just about Jenna. So, Jenna is, yes, related to the evil dictator, David Miscavige. There's no nice way of putting it. That's what he is. And good on her. She suffered terribly for years and years, but was able to get out of Scientology. Very, very difficult, but she got out. And it would have been easy to turn her back and just forget everything. But in a very meek and calm manner, she joined protest with Anonymous, right? She came out in the late 2000s. And I will be blunt, because a lot of people will question my credibility. Oh, where are you coming from? Well, you came out of nowhere. Well, it may stun people, but I can't say Jenna is the reason. I probably have to say Going Clear was the big thing that really just sparked me and be like, man, this Scientology thing's crazy. But it made me curious. I kept seeking out information. So even though Jenna may not be the reason I got into anti Scientology, she was a reason. And I can even remember it clear as day, just going through her old interviews and being like, wow, just shocked and outraged that just the physical labor and to be fair, Miscavige does this to everyone, the yelling and screaming and badgering. And I'm like, this is not right. This isn't right at all. And just being really inspired by her, again, very calm protests, going with Anonymous, trying to raise awareness. Now we got to get to the sad part of this where, well, Okay, let's get it out into the open. Is she supermodel hot Heidi Klum? No, but she's very pretty. I like her. I think she's kind of weird. I can't say she's well spoken because going through her videos as well as this very dishearteningly badly written post. Now it's not terrible, but her grammar is kind of off in a few places, and I'm like, well, and also again, let's be totally brutally honest. She didn't really write her book. Her book is okay. I guess it was transcribed. I don't know. So she's not a great writer. She's not a great speaker. But she had a lot of sincerity, and it was very meek and calm, and I think fairly accurate in her portrayals of her time in Scientology, the evil of Miscavige, and just the brutality. And yes, it's of children, but also of all these victims in Scientology. So I'm just kind of stunned. It's not just Aaron, but her increasingly bizarre videos and statements. I don't even know where to begin and what's the worst thing she's done. And again, it's not just about her. I mean, if she wants to destroy her credibility, her life, if she wants to betray her own principles, that is her decision. And whatever disagreements I have, I don't know this woman, never met her, never contacted her, but I can't deny it. Got to be sincere here. In the back of my mind, there was always this weird fantasy. Got to be honest. That, maybe I could reach out to Jenna. Maybe I could redeem her. Maybe we could come together and it's just what it is. Daydreaming. And so, like many people, I was just shocked. Just shocked. Like, you're with Aaron? You're with Aaron? And you're gaslighting Stephanie Hutchinson. And let me make clear, I don't like Stephanie. I don't like most of her material, but when she's accurate and factual, she has good criticisms. And again, I'm not the biggest fan of Render, and I have questions about Claire Headley, but the way she's misrepresenting them is also very disturbing. And then on top of all this, even though she's allegedly praising the protesters, right, in her post attacking Stephanie, she explicitly, and by the way, even the thing was like really odd. I'm not going to do a full analysis here, but if you go through that video carefully, it is like a Soviet scripted propaganda trip where she's like, yes, Aaron, DOA is disturbing me. You need to get rid of him. And it's like, I agree, Jenna. We need to get rid of him now. Listen, I don't like DOA. I agree we should be getting rid of him through legal, legitimate means, not through we need to call upon the furies of hell to pressure him to get out or do something underhanded. And I am stunned that Jenna would compare him to David Miscavige. Oh no, he's worse than David Miscavige. I'm like, and again, this is YouTube. I have to say this. Now, I don't have to say that Miscavige is not physically violent. That's legal doctrine. That is in court cases. It is a fact. This guy is extremely violent. But I have to say, allegedly murdered Lisa McPherson. Allegedly murdered some other people, including even family. Allegedly murdered quite a few people. Allegedly. You're comparing, again, let's be accurate, comparatively, right? He's not a mass murderer on the Stalin or Hitler scale. You're talking about somebody who has a lot of blood on his hand. And DOA is bad. He's a bad guy, no doubt about that. But can I say Scott is a fascist mass murderer? I don't know. And that's like, where are we going with all this? Like, where are we going? I don't understand this. Like with Serge and Nora and Aaron, that's evil. They're scumbags. But, and again, I'm confession time, and I've said this many times, and I'll say it again. What are they? Well, they're basically Hollywood scumbag. And I'm not making an exception for myself. I've made clear I want to work in Hollywood. I've done nothing major yet, so I'm part of a very corrupt Hollywood system, and I'll take that hit. I've done some years of activism. I don't want to exaggerate. I only went to a few marches, but it's always been consistent. I've always done something, whether essays, write little protests here and there, calling people out, and now, thankfully, through the videos, just trying to educate people, even if it's very small number or just step by step. I don't understand this. This is a woman whose interviews really inspired me. I was genuinely touched by the pain she experienced and horrified. And I'm like, I don't understand this. It seems like what she was doing with the anonymous movement was good. It was educating people. Wasn't perfect. It has its flaws. And now she's literally turning her back not just on her early history, she's just betraying all the principles and ideals. I mean, it's just insane. It's just insane. But I will always respect Jenna's early work. I think she was very brave to do what she did. She didn't have to do it. But now it's just the lies and gaslighting are just so palpable. And listen, I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid at all. So I was like, I'm doing lifestyle videos. Stop playing these tricks. I really don't like it. I don't like it when Laura Prepon does it. I don't like it when you do it. And they're very similar figures. Are these women very beautiful? Absolutely. Are they very talented? Sure. Are they, quote, very active? Absolutely. Laura was very active in pumping money into the church. And weird, perverse irony, she was literally pumping money into the church while the church was hurting Jenna inside of its restrictive walls. But now, allegedly, Laura has left the church. I have my doubts. I could be wrong. I don't think she has left Scientology. But let's say she did. Let's say Laura left the evil cult. Now she's a mama bear cooking. She still did an enormous amount of evil. Enormous amount of evil. So I'm not comparing directly Jenna to Laura. Laura, like, fully embraced genocidal Hubbard Miscavige thinking. Jenna, thankfully, has not. But it is a continuum. And I'm not going to blame Aaron. I think Jenna's not totally stupid. I don't think she's been totally brainwashed. I don't understand this. I really don't. At least with Aaron and Serge and Nora, I can understand. Listen, and I suffer from the same problem. This hunger for greed, for money, for celebrity. These are just common biases. But it's like, I don't get why she's becoming evil. In her case, it just seems pathetic and tragic. But we're ending up in the same place. Like Laura, we know. She's not going to expose the church. She's never going to apologize for her crimes. She's never going to recognize the evil she did. And it's enormous and it's sad. But I'm going to expose her. I'm going to criticize her. If that costs me a few jobs in Hollywood, well, that's life. But Jenna is just much more sad. She's not as evil. She's not as wicked, but it's the same thinking and mindset saying, yeah, I'm doing some evil with Aaron and Serge. I'm hurting a lot of people with Nora. But it's okay, guys. I'm good. I left the evil church. Now I have a new church. Because, yeah, Laura apparently is what? How she's a Buddhist or whatever. It's just silly. It's all silly nonsense. But this is dangerous, and real people have been hurt. And Jenna just doesn't care. She's like, listen, if I help you, it's because I'm a good person. I don't owe you anything. That makes no sense. You were in Scientology. So you're literally saying, yeah, there's this young girl, Jenna. I think she's hurting. They're really working her to the bone. They're screaming at her all the time. Well, I don't really owe her anything. Like, if I do something, it's because I choose to be good. But, yeah, if it doesn't fit in my lifestyle channel, I don't think I want to cover that. I don't really care. It's like, well, wait, this is a young girl. Is she a young girl? She's like almost 18. She can tear herself. Wait, uh, don't you feel a little sorry for the enormous pain this person is experiencing? It doesn't matter if she's a little girl or a young adult. I mean, right? She's a human being. It's like, yeah, but I don't know those people in the building anything. Like, this makes no sense. You're literally saying you don't owe yourself anything. It's just, this is bat crazy nonsense. And granted, it does feel like the stink of Aerosmith Levin. I don't know. I guess my rambling is I'm just very disappointed in her, but I will always honor her earlier history. Fantastic, but this latest iteration of Jenna is really, really awful, in my humble opinion.